Hello and welcome to another episode of Autofunk. This is our 1991 Corvette ZR1. And in the last video, we basically gave you a review of the ZR1 model using this car as a bit of a prop, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And in this episode, we're at Evolution D&T, which is a dyno and tuning specialist in Nottingham. And we're going to put this baby on the dyno and see exactly how much power it's making. So the rated power for a 91 is 375 horsepower. This car has no mods apart from something called a high-bec chip, which is supposed to add about 10 horsepower. Don't know if it actually does that. So yeah, we're just going to find out how healthy this car is by putting it on the dyno, having a look at the AFR, which is the air-fuel ratio, and seeing how much power it makes. So it's going to be an interesting day. And not only that, bit of bonus footage. Chris is here in his Corvette C5, because if you remember at the start of the year, Chris did a load of upgrades to the C5. So I'm going to hand over to Chris now and he can tell you about where he's at with his Corvette. And this is going to go on the dyno, so we'll see what improvements have been made there. Okay. Right then, Chris, we did some mods on this car at the start of the year. Talk us through it.
I'll just be satisfied at the end of this if it doesn't make less power, which is, if I know anything about modding cars, which I don't, it's usually disappointing.
The rated power of a C5 on this year is about 345.
Yes.
We took it on the dyno last year.
It was, yeah, probably a year ago-ish to
And what did it do?
If I remember, it was about 280 at the wheels, and that's estimated about 320 at the crank. If I remember, I'll insert a photo. I've probably inflated that in my head to tell mates at the pub that it's higher than it is, but you know how it is. So the bits that we did, I tried to make like a slightly better LS6. That's always the aim. So making LS6 with just a hint more power, it's going to have less, I'm assuming, but we'll see. So what we've got 243 heads straight out of an LS6. They flow about 15% better than a 241 factory LS1 head. So there should be a little bit more flow, a tiny bit more compression as well. They are higher compression. So that's one thing. I didn't use the hollow valves and the sodium valves because two of them were broken. I didn't know the condition of the rest of them, didn't trust them. So it's just got stainless steel valves all the way through it, brand new stainless steel valves. And then you can't go wrong. They're not going to make any difference really.
Cool.
Other things that are not standard, I have an ATI super damper, which will do very little, I imagine, apart from make things turn slightly slower.
So that, for the benefit of people that don't know, is the harmonic balancer. So essentially it's the crank pulley.
Yeah, and that's 10% smaller than a normal one. So the idea is less parasitic drag on things like the alternator and the water pump and things like that.
Interesting.
So in theory, it should make more power, but from what I've seen on the internet, people doing before and afters, doesn't make a lot of difference. I knew it wouldn't. I just wanted one that was a more reliable harmonic balancer.
Cool.
Other thing then, obviously the main thing is it's got a cam. I've gone for a fairly mild cam, so what I'm expecting in power is kind of all mid-range, if I was guessing. So I don't think the numbers are going to be a lot bigger, but the curve's going to be different, is probably what I'm expecting. So if I end up with anything more than 350, 360 estimated at the flywheel, I'll be relatively happy.
Awesome. Right then, Chris, we're just about to take it on the dyno. What do you think it's going to make?
Well, I saw, is it a TFL Classics? Did you see that video?
No.
There's one where they did one versus the Dodge Viper versus the ZR1.
Yeah.
And they thought their ZR1 was not very healthy, and it wasn't.
Was it not?
No. What did they make at the dyno? I'll just check my phone. Right, here we go. TFL, they did a non-power key run at 196 brake horsepower, 200 foot-pounds of torque. And what we'd expect with that is, since it's not breathing as well, the power curve's going to go like quite normal and then go
flatten off. Yeah.
Basically, that's how it feels like on the road. It goes nice load of power and then.
Yeah, low down it actually feels, with the power key on or off, it feels about the same, doesn't it? Until you get to about 4,000 RPM.
It feels like a normal C4.
Yeah.
Basically. And it goes after about 4. So that's what it's going to do. But interestingly, they only got 296 crank with the key on. not quite 300. So if this does better than that, it's healthier than their car.
But do you know what? If this does worse, it's going to give us something to look at
Yes.
whether or not the butterfly valves are not opening
That's
fully.
probably that is probably the problem with their car.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get it on the dyno and see what happens.
Officially, as well.
Go on.
330 horsepower is what a healthy one puts down at the wheels, apparently.
Oh, there we go.
So we've got a sort of aim number. What should be about 230. If there's anything I know about dynos, what you get is a bill and disappointment.
I'm going to point this out now, guys. I know that a lot of you in the comments have said, oh, the indicators are not supposed to be coming on with the brakes. It is a fault. It didn't used to do that. If you look at the earlier videos, the brakes and the indicator lamps were working fine. We think we've got some sort of loose connection, but we've not had a chance to look at it. It's a loose wire under the dash, I think.
It shouldn't be, but...
That's going to be an easy fix, isn't it?
Or just put red lenses in and make it US.
Hey, and while we're looking at the back end, something that I forgot on the other video, can you see how the exhaust pipes, one of them's dark and one's light? Look at this, you even get a cup of coffee here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, fake exhausts, which seems ridiculous, but there must have been a reason for it.
Looks. That must be the only reason.
Probably, yeah. It's going to be an interesting day today, isn't it? If you enjoy our videos, the easiest way, and it's completely free, to support us is to press subscribe and join the Autofund Club. Doesn't cost you a penny, but it really helps us. So yeah, if you want to see more on the ZR1 or on Chris's C5, hit subscribe and you won't miss any updates. Jason,
How you doing, mate? You okay?
Right?
Yeah, good, thank you.
So we're here with Jason today. So what do you offer here?
So we offer, obviously we've got the dyno for testing purposes and development. So we do bigger hybrid turbos, big injectors. We offer custom exhaust systems, so we build custom exhaust systems for clients.
Yeah.
We do most of the work, so clutches, rated clutches, DSG servicing, switchable mapping. We also tune for other companies around the world. So we supply files for other companies around the world.
Yeah. Cool.
So we help them as well as develop their business as well as we develop in ours.
Nice.
So yeah, it's good.
So Evolution D&T are in Nottingham. So if you're local to the area and you want a good dyno tuning specialist or somebody to give you a new exhaust or whatever, come and see these guys. Yep. So we're here for the dyno today. Tell us about the dyno process. How does it all work?
So the dyno that you're using today is a Dim Sport, 2-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But it's the braked version. So what you've got a big flywheel, and then you've got electromagnets that go around it. Rather than, there's two types of dynos. You've got an inertia, where it just rolls up and measures the speed on the run and on the run down.
Yeah.
And then we've got the brake dyno, which we can test at various RPM, so we can put different loads on the vehicle to check for timing, fueling, everything like that. So we're going to be doing 3 runs to start with. The dyno is, we have to set it up to the vehicle, so we have to then hold it at 2000 RPM. That then gives us an accurate data for where we can start logging the vehicle and start making the power run. And then when we see the power curve dropping off, that's when we cut the run.
Yeah.
There's no point in carrying on, and your power curve's gone because you're just putting stress on the vehicle. That will give us then a measurement. We can measure flywheel power, we can measure wheel power, torque. It's capable of 1200 brake horsepower.
All right, we're not going to hit that today. Cool, all right then. So 3 runs on the black ZR1 and 3 runs on Chris's Corvette, and it's going to be an interesting day, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll get it all strapped down, and I think the lads have got it strapped down and ready to go.
Happy days. All right, we'll crack on then.
Lovely. Thank you.
Mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
The ZR1 is done. It's coming off the ramp now. We've got the results, but we'll wait until the end of the video, so stick around.
It's going to be close.
And I think you'll be surprised.
Hey, mate, you all right? Last time in a manual. disastrous.
That would. The results are in, and they've given us these nice little black folders with a laminated printout.
Put that on your dashboard at the Cars and Coffee then, can't you?
So you can, yeah, you can display that with pride, or maybe with misery, I don't know. Depends on the results, doesn't it? So before we go through these, if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you press subscribe, because it really, really helps us. And
I'm just locked into butter in this at the minute.
Chris is preoccupied with his butter. I'm going to wait. Toasted tea cakes and a nice
It's going cold, you've got to
coffee.
get the butter to melt.
All right, so should we do yours first?
Yeah, do mine first.
Go on then, there you go.
Now I'm covered in butter, I'm going to ruin this nice, shiny, glossy piece of paper in here, whatever it is. Which tells us the news.
So how are we looking?
So, well, the scores on the doors is the old horsepower figure, isn't it? That's the one that people care about.
Yeah.
And I got 358 crank.
358 crank.
Which is, what about, what did I do before? 320, so, you know, 40 more.
40 more, yeah, so 40 more since the last dyno run.
Without proper tuning, so I reckon there's another 10 or 20 horsepower on the table, I would hope.
So you've got Chris has got a mild cam and basically Z06 heads.
So it's not that much going on. So it's not bad for not a lot going on, really. The aim was always to make it a car that was just a slightly hotter version of what it was, without spoiling the way it drives or anything, which it hasn't.
Yeah, Chris has been struggling for ages to try and manage to find somebody that can work with HP tuners.
Yeah, there's about 4 people in the UK that claim they can do it.
And
thankfully these guys have got it, so.
Purely by chance, yeah, that these guys can do it.
Half the reason I came for this really is just to see if I could convince someone to tune it.
No, and he was really good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a really nice guy, yeah.
He obviously knew what he was talking about.
And he would be happy to tune it, so that's really good. Just tweak it out. It's not doing too bad though. The power curve looks a bit messy at the bottom, but that's essentially because below about 3,500 RPM it was just wheel spinning. So the torque is obviously there, and this messy bit is the car wheel spinning like crazy on the dyno. So they had to sort of gently tip it in. The AFR's not doing too bad either. Again, it tips in to 12.8, so it's maybe a little bit lean here, but it's way below 13, so it's not bad. It's steady as well, it's not jumping all over the place.
Run 1 was
358. That was actually the best run, unless they put them in a different order, I don't know. And then the torque, 367 foot-pounds, not too bad, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, that's more than factory. 340 is factory, isn't it?
Yeah.
So again, more than factory. Nice and low as well, 4,000 RPMs, peak torque. So at Santapod, I don't really need to be shifting very high, I don't think. Run 2 and Run 3 are fairly similar as well, the high 340s. I think they were struggling to get the power down grip-wise, which is something you find on the road. It does like to spin up a little bit now and then, so that's fine. Obviously, not encouraging that sort of thing. That's for sure. I drive very carefully and sensibly.
Of course you do, yeah.
As you can see.
So, the ZR1. We weren't sure what to expect, and it's been off the road for over 20 years. And it feels good, feels quick, but we wanted to
Revs well.
Revs well, doesn't it?
Loves to rev.
We wanted to take it on the dyno and see exactly where we're at power-wise, but also we wanted to look at the air-fuel ratio, because that's also an indicator of engine health. And we did 3 runs. We did 2 runs in full power mode and the 3rd run with the key off. Scores on the doors, without further ado. It is down from the factory rated 375. And we're making, according to this dyno, we're making, the best run was run 2, 334.3 horsepower, basically 7,600 RPM.
That's right up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're at 7,600 RPM in a V8 from the 1980s. This is mental.
292 horsepower at the wheels, essentially. That was the best run. The other one was slightly less. It was 330, but...
But you know what that is in line with?
Go on.
That TFL Classics. Almost exactly the same. So maybe that's how they are.
Maybe.
There was no indication there was anything wrong with that car, really. They thought it was down on power, but it's an exact match.
So before we get on to the result with the power key off, which is actually quite interesting, let us know in the comments or send us a message. If you've got a ZR1 and you're in the US and you've had it dynoed, tell us what it made. If you're in the UK and you've got a ZR1, Why don't we have a dyno day where we just do C4 ZR1s and maybe try and get 3 or 4 cars so we can compare the results
and see what they really make.
Yeah, because
see if GM was lying.
That will give us a good indication of A, whether our car's healthy, but also like the general level of power that these cars are making now.
And the other thing I found is when I'm looking at dyno figures in the US, I don't know if they measure things differently, but all the C5s would seem like they've got way more power than, you know, from stock they seem like they've got 350 horsepower on the dyno.
Yeah.
Whether they measure it differently, the dynos are different, I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, if you've got a ZR1 in the UK, give us a shout. We would be well up for a ZR1 dyno day.
So all 3 of you get in contact.
With the power key off, amazingly, and I said in the last video that it was over 100 horsepower less with the key off, and this dyno graph corroborates that. So, just here, 211 horsepower with the key off. So it jumps from 211 to 335. That's a 125 horsepower difference. It's huge, isn't it?
That's a massive difference. It shows the power key works, that, doesn't it, really? Because if it wasn't jumping, then there'd be something wrong with that vacuum system. But you can really see the difference on that curve.
You can see here, so run 1 and 2 were here. This one, the green one, this is run 3, power key off. And you can just see where it tails off. It's basically tracks up until about 4,000 RPM. But
the system's essentially off here anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, 4,000 RPM is where the secondary injectors and the secondary fuel pumps and stuff energise, so that makes sense. And that proves that it's working fine.
Probably that system seems to be working, yeah. 100, I mean, it really does feel a different car with it on and off.
So it is down on power compared to the factory rated 375, but I don't know about you, Chris, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. And I also suspect that's what they actually are.
Probably.
In reality.
So that's where we're at, guys. That brings us to the conclusion of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, it really, really helps. I know we keep banging on about it and all YouTubers do, but what it does is it will show our videos to more like-minded people, so it gets the message out there. It doesn't cost you anything. We're going to stick, I know I mentioned that the ZR1 is for sale, which it is, and you will have seen it on eBay, but we're going to treat it as we always have done, and we're going to carry on with the adventures until it's sold. So we do have more plans for the ZR1, unless it's sold in the meantime. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. It's just a bit of an interesting test, and we will see you around for another video very soon. And we've not forgotten about the Mustang. There are things happening with that. So if you are here for the Mustang, stick around. There's more coming soon on the Mustang too.
I'm assuming people like American V8s like American V8s.
I think so.
So hopefully.
Yeah. We're brand agnostic. We're not GM or Ford biased.
GM.
So anything goes as long as it's got 8 cylinders.
Yes.
All right.
7 3/4.
Cheers.
Cheers.